Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also lets you know if GoPros are somewhat BB proof. Last week, I just want to get this one out of the way. My goodness, you guys went crazy in the comment section, but crazy in a good way. I almost had 500 comments to read for this show, so that's why it's probably a little later on Monday coming out. I wanted to make sure I read through every single one and picked out the best questions, and you made it extremely difficult. Also, the discussion last week was crazy incredibly good because of the topic from the week before about younger players in Airsoft, or kids as I kind of put in the title. And it looks like most of you guys kind of fell on the side with me that it's definitely not the age of the player, it's more the maturity level of the player. So, I've seen much older players act like immature jerks and seeing younger players act incredibly mature and highly sportsmanlike, and then of course everything in between. So it's really take it on the player, not on the age of the player. So yeah, huge response on that. And of course what that meant, a lot of great questions as well. And if you guys want to get a question on the show, I'll go ahead and knock this one out as well. Just simple, put it down in the comment section below, vote up your favorites, and get them on the next show. But enough of me babbling on, let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that is, of course, your questions. GunTech762 writes, what's your opinion on the newly released Tokyo Marui AA12 Tri-Shot AEG? Well, man, Tokyo Marui, they are always the real innovators, I think, when it comes to airsoft. When you look at like kind of the grandfather of all airsoft, or at least AEG guns. I know there's a lot of old gas blowbacks, HPA stuff way back in the day. But when you look at the modern AEG, it is based on a Tokyo Marui design. So it's so cool. It's a triple shot or multi-shot, adjust the number of rounds you shoot, AEG. So unlike pump action shotguns where you pump it, and yeah, they do shoot multiple BBs out, or like the Marui pump action shotguns, like I used to have a SPAS 12, you had 3 barrels in it. So when you actually pumped it and fired it, 1 BB came out of each of the 3 barrels. So it was a tri-shot shotgun. But now there's an AEG version, so a full auto version that takes like the clip magazines, I guess if you want to call them a clip, I don't know, it's probably more of just a magazine. And then, of course, the drum magazines as well. They actually have one in the works, and they showed it. It is so cool. I will definitely get you a link to the video I saw. I'll dig it up before this video goes live and have it down in the description below, or maybe you can put it up here if it'll let me do somebody else's videos. But yeah, that one is definitely a neat one, and I'm looking forward to see not only what it does, but how people take that technology and port it over to other shotguns, hopefully getting us some better AEG shotguns in the market. Damien Spyrer writes, hey Jonathan, I'm a left-handed shooter, weird I know. Are there drop leg holsters made for lefties like me? Actually, yeah, there are lefty holsters and ambidextrous holsters. I think if you're looking for a really affordable option, Condor makes one. They call it, I think, the 1911 ambidextrous holster. They're like 12 or 13 bucks, $15 US, pretty cheap. You can pick them up just about anywhere, and they come set up for right-handed, but you can take all the stuff off and move it to the left side, and it works perfectly on both. It even looks the same when you flip it over. So that's a good one on the affordable side. On the mid-range one, the one that the Condor is based off of, Blackhawk, the Omega holster. I actually have one for a light, tactical light, so I have so many pistols now that I want to run a light on. I just wanted to get a universal holster, and these are both universal, by the way. That's a good one. I think it's like $60-ish, so kind of mid-price when it comes to holsters. And then, of course, you get to the really good stuff like Safariland or my personal favorite, Blade Tech, and they make molded holsters, and you can get them in both left-handed and right-handed configurations, specifically designed for the pistol you're looking for. And I actually have one for a 1911, specifically right-handed with a thread adapter, so it's been drilled out on a drop leg, but it's modular the way the Blade Tech ones work. You can actually move them to different platforms. I've got like a mauling platform and like a drop and offset, kind of like what you see cops carry, where it kind of sits a little lower on your hip. So yeah, I do have one of those as well. So looking all around, you can get them in both left and right configs on those, but those are specific. So when you order it, you have to order it for the gun and for the left config. The first two I mentioned are ambidextrous, and even though they say 1911, they'll fit most medium to large frame pistols, no problem. Jam Master Jacob writes, hey Jonathan, I was winding into Airsoft and I see players like yourself fully decked out in plate carriers, helmets, etc., etc. My question is if I should go ahead and purchase this kind of gear, or should I wait until I've been playing for a little while? Thanks. So yeah, I do have a lot of gear, a lot of name brand stuff if you want to get into that, but really no. I'll tell you right now, don't make the investment into that, especially if you're newer to the hobby of Airsoft, because until you get to know what you like, you're going to be making a lot of choices and changing stuff around. I mean, I still change my gear around a lot. And in fact, I've got a lot of my nice gear by getting lesser gear and selling it and saving up, and then buying a little better gear and selling it and saving up and buying better gear. And eventually you can build yourself up to, you know, something like, you know, Crye Precision or LBT or Mayflower, or whatever you want to wear when it comes like a carrier or something like that. But out of the gate, I mean, unless you've got infinite funds and you've got, you know, you make a ton of money and you can do it, yeah, go for it. But out of the gate, I would say no, don't do it yet. You don't need it. Me having great gear has zero bearing on my ability to play airsoft. None. None at all. It's about knowing where your magazines are, how fast you can do a mag change, knowing your weapon, knowing the limits of your weapon, and more importantly, knowing tactics, angles, and all those things are way more important. The last thing you got to worry about is gear. I mean, heck, to be honest, it doesn't change the way I play. If I'm going to go out and play a local game, let's say, if I'm wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and throw like a $10 chest rig on top and just jam my mags in, versus head-to-toe Crye Precision gear, and, you know, I've got $4,000 worth of stuff and a real helmet on and all that, it doesn't change anything. In fact, sometimes the more the gear you put on, the heavier stuff, it can kind of impede me a bit. So yeah, bottom line, no man, just go out, have some fun, play with what you got, get to love it, and then build your collection slowly but surely. Waffle Iron writes, do you like waffles? Considering where this question's coming from, this might be a trick question. If you're a waffle iron, and you're asking me this, are waffles like your own little children you're putting out? Or are they like the drive for you to exist? Because that would be if you want to create them to make people happy. Yeah, I like waffles. If they're your kids, no comment. Matthew Villanova writes, has your lens on your GoPro in the housing ever been shot? If it were to be shot at around 350 feet per second and under, will it crack? Thanks. So actually, this has been shot. I kind of caught it on the edge here, and I know you guys aren't gonna be able to see it, but there's a little bit of BB white stuff embedded here in the crack. And I've actually taken a few shots to this, and I think one or two even to the glass. So with the housing, you actually have a glass on the GoPro, so there's this flat glass, and the lens is actually inside. So, in fact, I'll pop this one open. Just go ahead and do it. This is my 4 I just got. And like I said, the housing's already been shot. So you have this in the inside. So you actually have a lens here, and this is your glass housing here, and then the rest is polycarb. This has taken a hit, didn't crack. I've seen them get cracked before, so it is possible. There's even possibility that if the one here on the front gets cracked, it could scratch this lens. Now you don't want this lens scratched. This is your problem. This one's no big deal. I mean, you can buy a replacement. They're not terribly expensive to get the glass replacements. But yeah, I mean, they're somewhat resistant to BBs. I think 350 feet per second at a decent range, you'll probably be okay. If you got point blanked at that range, then you might have a cracked lens. But the odds are, if you do get hit, unless it's right in the center and it scratches that lens up, you're probably going to be okay with your inner lens. So yeah, you've got a little bit of safety there. Bottom line, if you're really concerned, get a little piece of Lexan or polycarbonate or something and kind of build something around here, like a gasket, kind of tape it in place with some silicone tape or heat shrink or something like that. But other than that, I think it's somewhat resistant. Like I said, I haven't had too many issues with it, and so far, knock on wood, haven't had one shot out yet. Robert Dion writes, what are your thoughts on tactical AK variants, and why are they not more prevalent in airsoft here in the US? You know, I've kind of got the AK bug here just recently after seeing a lot of the, I've seen the Zynico or Asura Dynamics stuff that's all the tactical stuff that kind of makes it look a little more modernized. But to be honest, I think it's probably more of just people are familiar with the M4 platform, and it's like something you see the soldiers running, you see them run the HK416s. So we naturally kind of want to emulate our heroes, right? I mean, there's like a bit of that milsim in there. That said, yeah, I'm kind of down with the AK here recently, and I just got one actually in from G&G, and I'm kind of excited about it. It actually just showed up right before the shooting here. Haven't had a chance to really dig into the box. It's off camera over here in the corner. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to kind of get like a classic one and then maybe one that's tricked out. I think it's coming. I think the Milsim West guys are doing a fantastic job bringing that Russian versus US battle and not making the Russians the bad guys or anybody a specific bad guy. So it's fun to play on both sides. And I think that's what's really helping the resurgence of the AK here in the United States. Also curious too, so if you guys play in other countries, is it M4 dominant, or you guys run the weapon system that's familiar to your country's military, if you guys don't run M4, for example? So especially if you guys are in the Eastern European countries, do you guys run more like AKs, you run more like FN stuff? Let me know. Put the comments down there below. I'm kind of curious to see if it is very country specific, like it is here in the US, where we run kind of what our government, our military runs, or is it just everybody kind of flocks to the M4 because it's just such the universal standard? Well, guys, that's it for questions this week. And of course, that means, you can barely see it over here on the side, is the video recommendation of the week. And this one comes from the Airsoft Unicorn, Leah. And she has kind of a behind the scenes when we were at Operation Copperhead. We were staying in like this little cool resort, a bunch of people, myself, Jet, her, a bunch of the guys from Polar Star, Bob the Axeman, I mean, the EVIC guys, I mean, you name it. Like everybody was piled into this one resort and we were all just kind of in there having a good time. A lot of craziness, a little bit of debauchery, and I'm naked in the shower in it. It's censored. And I take a face full of spaghetti and I wear a bra. If that's not enough reason to watch this video, those three, or even one of those three would probably be enough reason to watch this video or run far, far away from this video. That would probably do it. So guys, I'll definitely have a link to this down in the description below. Just be prepared. It is censored, like I said. I'm not naked. I'm in the shower as I get spaghettied. It's fun. Like, no, it's not fun. It's terrible. Getting hit with a face of like day-old dry spaghetti in the face is miserable. But it was funny, I have to admit. So I got to give Jet and the crew props on that one. But yeah, if you guys want to see some craziness and what happens at Airsoft games behind the scenes where we're not out there playing and shooting each other, give it a click. It definitely is eye-opening. All right, guys, that is it for this week's episode. As always, thank you for joining me here, and thank you for the discussion down there in the community section, helping each other out, answering each other questions, and just contributing to the show. Remember, this show is absolutely nothing without your questions. I mean, I wouldn't have a show. I wouldn't have anything to even respond to. So again, I appreciate everything you put down there. And like I've always said before, I do read every single question. Even if I can't answer them, I try to type in some answers on some when I'm rushing to get this video put together before I actually shoot it like now. But I wish I could answer every single one, every single time for you guys. I just wish I could do more, but I love the fact that you guys help each other out when I can't. So yeah, continue putting them down there, continue voting them up, and I'll get them on the show. Coming up this next week, I'm trying to think programming notes. What do I have going? The AK's not coming up soon. Oh, I've got a cool new rail from Airsoft GI they sent me. I'm working on that one. I've got a grenade launcher, CO2 grenade launcher video coming up. I do have a plate carrier video coming up, the Armistice plate carrier, the Costa carrier from LBX. And I'm trying to think, God, there's so much going on. I'll have my little cheat sheet, but just stay tuned. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up here this week and in the next few weeks. Oh, the big one. I've got the Polar Star review. I know a lot of you guys have been asking since I did the V12, full-on Polar Star review to kind of give you my thoughts on that. And now that I've kind of run it in the V12 and I've got a good feeling of HPA now, so stay tuned. It's the full Fusion engine. It's not the jack, not yet. So guys, again, thank you for coming, thank you for watching, and thank you for contributing, and I will see you next week. But until then, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.